my first speech, I told you guys how I'd never really been to like group activities and stuff. Like I did football, and that was cool, but it wasn't. Football wasn't for me. I guess I could say. So I remember about the same time last year, me and Mohammed, we had ushered for one of the shows. We were sitting there, and during intermission, we were like, "That's gonna be us," And I was super worried that I wasn't gonna amount to what you guys do. And so when I got here, and you like accepted me as like family, like I've never had that. And I was talking to Isabella and I said, "Hey, this has been the best year that I've ever had, And I'm so glad I got to spend it with you guys. So thank you. And kill it tonight, yeah!"
Thank you all very much for getting up here Saturday evening to come spend it with us. My name is Bruce Mindt. I'm the drama teacher here. I have a few thank yous and a couple of announcements, and then I'll get out of the way. And here they are. First is our last show of the year. Kind of a bittersweet opportunity for me. Sweet because I get to see my kids do stuff one more time, but mostly kind of sad for me because they're moving on, a lot of them, and tonight's show is actually the last show for some of my kids in this group, and I'm just really pleased with them and all the hard work that they put in. Everything you see here is attributed to their hard work and determination, so and I think you'll be pretty proud of them too. If you'll silence your cell phones and keep them put away, that would be tremendous. Even if you pull them out just to look at them, it's distracting to the actors up here. Our show's 2 hours and 20 minutes in total, including the intermission. The bulk of it's the first half. We have 3 scenes in the first half, and then the last act is only about 30 minutes, so I just wanted to give you a heads up on that stuff. Please no photography during the show, although I'm sure these kids will pose for you for a very long time after the show. I'm going to put a box out in the hall in case you want to recycle your program. If you want to keep it, because it's really a groovy program, that would be fine. But if you're just going to go home and recycle it, put it in the box, that would be fantastic. Thank you to, it's just so nice to do. Thank you to my wife, because it's nice to do. And she said yes 25 years ago, and so pretty sweet. Jim Sipes is our photographer, and his photos are out here in the lobby. That's also where we'll have intermission as well, and we'll have some snacks and drinks available out there. If you just consume it out there and then only bring the water back in. But back to Jim Sipes. He comes in, spends about 5 hours with us, and takes our picture and things. And if you're going to order pictures, please do so by tomorrow. But he does a fantastic job for us. Dick Floyd is a volunteer who comes in, very good friend of mine, and he helps the kids design set and build set and teaches them a whole bunch, and all on his volunteer hours. Doesn't get paid a whole lot. But anyway, he's a tremendous fellow, and I really appreciate it. Our story takes place in 1940 in a town called Visalia, Ohio. And the man who comes to dinner is a very famous radio host. Clearly in 1940, radio was huge. And he's on this tour, and he comes to the Stanley home and slips on some ice. And the rest of the show, you'll see unfold. I just want to give you a little bit of the story ahead of time so that you'll know where we are. Everybody, thank you again for coming. Enjoy the show.
Sheridan Whiteside, critic, lecturer, wit, radio orator, intimate friend of the great and near great, met his Waterloo in the shape of a small piece of ice on the doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Ernest W. Stanley of Visalia, Ohio, while trekking across the country on one of his annual lecture tours. Result, the idol of the airways rests until further notice in the home of surprised Mr. and Mrs. Stanley. Possibility Christmas Day postponed this year. What's that mean?
A small piece of ice on the doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Can you think of it?
Well, of course, if it were my house, Daisy, I'd put a bronze plate on the step right where he fell.
Well, of course, I feel just terrible. He never goes anywhere in the neighbors to come here, and then this has to happen for Mr. Whiteside. But it would be wonderful having him here, if only for a little while. Maybe he can read books and plays and talk about all the wonderful people he's met. He may even read Goodbye, Mr. Chips to us.
Daisy, I can't wait any longer. If Mr. White... Oh, good morning, ladies.
Good morning! Ernest, Mr. Whiteside's getting out. And H.G. Wolf's on the telephone, and we're in time. Look!
I don't like this kind of publicity at all, Daisy. When are you supposed to leave?
He's only getting up this morning. He's been in bed for 2 weeks. He's giving me a couple days of rest, Ernest.
Well, it is a great honor his being in the house, but it is a little upsetting. Phone going all the time, bells ringing, messenger boys running in and out.
Pardon me, Mrs. Stanley, but have a cigarette coming
Oh, my son went for them. Should be here soon.
Thank you.
Ernest, this is Mrs. Cutler, Mr. Whiteside's secretary.
How do you do? Do you mind if I take this chair?
You mean he's getting out now? He is indeed.
He's coming out! I can't believe it!
Jim, Mr. Whiteside's coming out! He's coming out! Good morning.
Good morning. Here we all are, merry and bright. Miss Pretty, bring our little patient out.
I'm suing you for $150,000.
What? How's that?
I said I am suing you for $150,000.
You mean because you fell in our front steps?
Samuel J. Leibowitz will explain to you in court. Who are those two harpies that are staring at me like the kiss of death? Mrs. Stanley, I have a few small matters to take up with you, since this corner druggist at my elbows has now been confined in this moldy mortuary for at least another 10 days, due entirely to your stupidity and negligence. Shall have to carry on my activities as best I can. I will require the exclusive use of this room, as well as that drafty sewer that you call the library. I want no one to come in or out while I'm in this room.
What do you mean, sir?
But Mr. Whiteside, you have to use the stairs to get to our room.
Isn't there a back entrance?
Yes.
Then use that. I will also require a room for my secretary, Miss Cutler. Let me see. I sleep until noon and must have quiet at the house until that hour. I'll have a great many incoming and outgoing phone calls, so please do not use the telephone. There will be 5 for lunch today. Where's the cook?
Mr. Whiteside, if I may interrupt you.
No, you may not, sir. Please! Get your clammy hands off my chair! You have the touch of a sex-starved cobra! And now, will you all please leave quietly, or must I ask my secretary to pass among you with the baseball bat?
Well, goodbye, Daisy. I didn't even call you. Oh, no.
Now look here, Mr. Whiteside.
There is nothing to
Goodbye.
discuss here, sir. Considering the amount of damage that I have suffered at your hands, I'm asking very little. Good day.
Call you later for my office, Daisy.
Not on this phone, please. Here's the menu for lunch, Mrs. Stanley.
But Mr. Whiteside, I've already ordered
Yours will be brought up to you on a tray. I'm using the dining room for my luncheon guests. Where are those cigarettes?
Oh, my husband, or my son went for them. I don't know why he's not back yet. Here's the menu for lunch there. I'll have mine upstairs on a tray.
Young lady, I cannot stand a decision. You either go up those stairs or down.
Oh, hello, Mr. Whiteside. Here are your cigarettes, and I'm sorry it took so long. I need to go to 3 different stores.
You were gone long enough to have a baby. Is there another man who suffers as I do from the inadequacies of the human race? What are you doing now? Go and read the life of Florence Nightingale and learn how unfitted you are for your chosen profession.
Well, I think I can safely leave you in Miss Cutler's capable hands. Shall I check back in on you again this afternoon?
If you do, I shall spit right in your eye.
What sense of humor you writers have. Oh, by the way, no, it's not worth mentioning. I happen to have been doing some writing of my own about my years of medical experience.
Why to be spared nothing?
Would it be too much to ask you to glance over it while you're here?
Trapped.
I have a copy of it with me. 40 years an Ohio doctor. The story of a humble practitioner.
I shall drop everything.
Thank you so much. I hope you like it. Catch you tomorrow. Stay off that hip. And don't forget to take those little pills. Goodbye.
Maggie, will you take 40 years of Open or whatever it's called?
Well, I must say you have certainly behaved by your accustomed grace and charm.
Listen here, puss. I am in no mood to discuss my behavior, good or bad. I have no desire to cross this cheerless threshold. I was hounded and badgered into it. And now, I find myself, after 2 weeks of racking pain, accused of behaving without charm. What would you have me do? Kiss them?
Very well, Sheridan. After 10 minutes, I should have known better than trying to do anything about your manners. But after I finish with this job, I may write a novel about it all. 30 years of Prince Charming.
Listen here, repulsive. You are tied to me with an umbilical cord made of piano wire. And now, if we may drop the subject of my charm, for which, incidentally, I receive $1,500 per appearance, perhaps we can go back to work. Oh no, we can't.
My name is Harriet Smith. I know you are Sheridan Whiteside. I found this holly from green against the pine trees. I remembered what you had written about the Jew that protests the obscure.
see no reason why I should endorse maid-informed brasiers.
Here are some telegrams.
What date is this?
December 10th.
Send a wire to Columbia Broadcasting. You can schedule my Christmas Eve broadcast from the studio in New York, as I will be returning home instead of proceeding to Hollywood. Stop. For my special New Year's Eve broadcast, we'll have as my guests Joshua Heifetz, Catherine Cornell, The Bunts, Schiaparelli, and Dr. Alexis Carroll, with Haley Selassie on shortwave from England, Whiteside.
Are you sure you'll be all right by Christmas, Sheridan?
Oh, of course I'll be all right. Send a wire to Mahatma Gandhi, Bombay, India. Dear Boo Boo, schedule change. Can you meet me on Calcutta, July 12th, dinner, 8:30, Whiteside. Send a wire to Atlantic Monthly. Dear Stinky, don't worry, copy will arrive, Whiteside. Arturo Toscanini, where is he?
I'll find him.
Counting on you, January 4th, Metropolitan Opera House. For my annual benefit, Home for Paroled Convicts. As you know, this is a very worthy cause and dear to my heart. Tibbet Rethberg, Martinelli, and Flagstad have all promised me personally to appear. We have a quiet supper with me and Ethel Barrymore afterwards, Whiteside. If that's for Mrs. Stanley, tell them she's too drunk to talk.
Hello? What? Hollywood?
Vince Goldwyn, hang up.
Hello, Banjo?
Banjo, give me that phone.
Banjo, you and so-and-so, how are you?
Come on, give me that phone.
Shut up, Sherry. Are you coming east, Banjo? I miss you. He's gonna live.
Stop dribbling and give me that phone.
In fact, he's screaming at me right now. Here he is.
How are you, you fawns behind? And what are you getting me for Christmas? What news, Banjo, my boy? How's the picture coming? How are Wacko and Slappa? No, I'm all right. Yes, I've got the best horse doctor in town. What about you? Having any fun? Playing any cribbage? But don't take all this money, Banjo. Leave some for me. Your what? Getting your portrait painted? By whom? No, it's gross. No, not really. No, I go to New York from here, and then I'll be there for 12 days, and I head to Dartmouth for the drama festival. You wouldn't understand. Well, Banjo, I can't be caught talking to Hollywood riffraff. Goodbye, and kiss the Wella Parsons for me. Banjo took $1,400 from Sam Goldwyn in cribbage last night, and Goldwyn said, Banjo, never playing garbage for you again.
What's all this about having his portrait painted?
Salvatore Dali. That's all that Facetus needs. A surrealist to paint it. What do you want now, Miss Bedfan?
It's your pills, Mr. Whiteside. One every 45 minutes.
Now, where were we?
Here's a cable from that dear friend of yours, Lorraine Sheldon.
Let me see it.
Sherry, my poor sweet lad, have been in Scotland on a shooting party with Lord and Lady Connor, only just for your poor sweet Pip. I'm down here in Surrey with Lord Bottomley, sailing Wednesday on the Normandy, and cannot wait to see my poor sweet Sherry, your blossom girl, Lorraine. In the words of my master, I may vomit.
Now, puss. Don't be bitter just because Lorraine is more beautiful than you are.
Lorraine Sheldon is a very fair example of the small but vicious circle you move in.
Pure sex jealousy if I ever saw it. Let me see the rest of those telegrams.
Lorraine Sheldon, Lord Bottomley, my Aunt Fanny.
Ah, this one's from Destiny's Tot.
Oh, England's little rover boy?
Dear baby's breath, what is this I hear about your fractured in some bordello brawl? Does this mean our Hollywood Christmas party is off? Finish the new play at Pago Pago and it's superb. Myself and the ukulele leave Honolulu tomorrow in that order. By the way, Sultan of Zanzibar wants to meet Ginger Rogers. Let's face it. Oscar Wilde.
He does travel, doesn't he? You know, it'd be nice if the world would move around Beverly Carlton for a change.
Hollywood next week. Why couldn't he stop in on his way home to New York? Send him a cable. Beverly Carlton, Royal Hawaiian Hotel, Honolulu. If these people intend to have their brains using the front door,
What would you have them do? Use a rope ladder?
I will not have a bunch of mildew pus bags rushing in and out of this house while I am trying to do my work.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Jefferson. Good morning, John.
Go away! Nobody's home. The Stanleys have been arrested for public indecency.
Well, Mr.
Mr. Whiteside and Jefferson, from the Daily Journal. Get breathing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whiteside's seen no one.
Oh, really?
So will you please excuse us? Good day.
Well, Mr. Whiteside seems to be sitting up and taking notice.
I'm afraid he's not taking notice of the Massalia Journal.
I'm going to be insulted. I'd like to bring Mr. Whiteside himself. Never did like carbon copies. Touche. If I've heard one. And Massalia, too. Nice to hear.
Will you please leave us?
How about an interview, Mr. Whiteside? I never give them. Go away. Oh, Mr. Whiteside, if I don't give this interview, I might lose my job. That would be quite all right with me. Oh, no, you don't mean that. You used to be a newspaper man yourself. You know what editors can be like? Mine happens to be the toughest one that ever lived. You won't get around me that way. If you don't like it, get off the paper. Yes, but I happen to think it's a very good paper. William Allen White could have gotten out of Emporia, but he didn't. You have the effrontery, in my presence, to compare yourself with William Allen White. Only in the sense that White stayed in Emporia. I want to stay here and say what I want to say. Such as what? Well, it's hard to put into words without it sounding like an awful lot of hooey, but the Journal was my father's paper, so it's sort of a sentimental point to me. So you own the paper then, huh? I do. So this terrifying editor, this dread journalistic apocalypse, is you, yourself. A word? Yes. Let's see.
In the future, Sheridan, when you don't want to talk to someone, let me know. I'll usher them right in.
Young man, come over here. I suppose it's you who've written that novel. No, I've written that play. Well, I want to read it. What's this? These old eyes bought back some goodies over there. Hand them to me, will you? See, Mr. Whiteside, you being in this town happens to fall under the heading of news. You're practically the biggest since the Depression. So I've got to get the story. Con butter, that fudge.
Oh my, Mr. Whiteside, you must eat candy. It's very bad for you.
My great aunt Jennifer had a whole box of candy every day of her life. She lived to be 102, and when she was 3 days dead, she looked better than you do now. You're saying? Well, I can at least report that children is not dead. We won't discuss it. Well, now that you've won me with your pretty ways, what would you like to know? How about a talk on famous murders? You are an authority on murders of fine art. My dear boy, when I talk about murder, I get paid for it. I have made more money out of the Snyder Gray case than the lawyers did, so don't expect to get it for nothing. Well then, how about, what do you think of Massalia? How long are you going to be here? Where are you going? Things like that. Very well. A, Massalia is a town of irresistible charm. B, I cannot wait to get out of it. C, I go to Crockfield from here for my semi-annual visit to Crockfield Home for Paroled Convicts, for which I have raised over $500,000 in the last 5 years. Have you ever been to Crockfield, Jefferson? No, I haven't. Well, as a newspaper man, you ought to go, instead of wasting your time with me. It's only about 75 miles away from here. Did you ever hear how Kaufman started? No, I didn't. Sit down, Jefferson. Make yourself comfortable. It's one of the most touching and endearing stories of our lifetime. One misty St. Valentine's Eve. The year was 1901. A little old lady who had given her name to an heir, Victoria, lay dying in Windsor Castle. Maud Adams had not yet caused every young heart to swell as she tripped across the stage of Peter Pan. Irving Berlin had not yet written the first note to a ragtime ragweed of Secession Nation's feet for tapping. Elias B. Crockfield was just emerging from the state penitentiary. Destitute, embittered, cruel of heart, he wandered, this St. Valentine's Eve, to a little old church. But there was no godliness in his heart, no prayer upon his lips. In the faltering twilight, Crockfield made his way to the poor box. With callous fingers, he ripped open this poignant testimony of a simple people's faith. Greedily, he clutched at the few pitiful points within. And then, a child's wayward trouble broke the twilight stillness. Please, Mr. Man, said the little girl's voice, won't you be my Valentine? Elias B. Crockfield turned. There before him stood a bewitching little creature of fire, her yellow curls cascading over her shoulders like a golden Niagara. In her tiny outstretched hand, a humble Valentine. In that one crystal moment, a sealed door within the heart of Elias B. Crockfield opened. and in his mind was born an idea. 25 years later, 3,000 ruddy-cheeked convicts were gambling on the broad lawn of Crockfield's home, frolicking in the depths of a swimming pool, broadcasting with their own symphony orchestra from their own radio station. Lies to Crockfield as long as it's gone to his maker. But the little girl with golden curls, now since grown to lovely womanhood, is known as the Angel of Crockfield, for she is the wife of the warden. In the main hall of Crockfield, between a Rembrandt and an El Greco, there lies, in a simple little frame, a humble Valentine.
And in the men's washroom every Christmas Eve, the ghost of Elias B. Crockfield appears along with the boots. Will you sign this, please?
This aging debutante, Mr. Jefferson, I retain my employ simply because she's the sole support of her two-headed brother. I understand. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Whiteside. You've been more than kind. Oh, and by the way, I am a cribbage player if you're looking for one. How much are you willing to lose? I usually win. Fine. Come back at 8:30. We'll play three-handler. Elsie Dinsmore.
Sheridan!
Mets! Mets, you incredible Beetlehound. What are you doing here?
I explained, Sheridan, but first, let me kiss my little magpie.
Max, darling, what a wonderful surprise!
Jefferson, you are standing in the presence of Professor Adolph Metz, the world's leading authority on insect life. How do you do?
How do you do? Well, Sheridan?
Metz, stop staring at me, adoring me, and tell me why you're here.
You're sick, Sheridan. I've come to cheer you.
Jefferson, he lived for 2 years in a cave with nothing but plant life. He read 3 pages in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Don't you, my little hookworm?
Please, Sheridan, you embarrass me. Look, I brought you a present to while away the hours. I said to my class, boys and girls, I want to give a present to my old friend, Sheridan Whiteside. So you know what we did? We created a community of Paraplanata Americana, commonly known as the American cockroach. Behold, Roach City. Inside here is 10,000 cockroaches. 10,000? Sarah, what do you think? And in a week, if all goes well, there will be 50,000.
If all goes well, what could go wrong?
Quiet, please.
You watch them, Sherry, live out their whole lives. Look, here is their maternity. It is interesting. They do everything that human beings do.
Well,
Maggie, please. These are my cockroaches.
You listen to the meeting calls. There are microphones down inside. Here, listen.
How long has that been going on?
Aha! Paraplanata Americana. There are cockroaches in this house.
I beg your pardon? Mr. Whiteside, I will not have this man stand here.
Then go upstairs. Those are probably my luncheon guests. Matt's just staying for the day, of course. Jefferson, stay for lunch.
Lots of
Maggie, tell them there'll be 2 more.
come in here, Max.
Mr. Whiteside, them men are around front for you. I told them to go around back.
Thank you, John. Jefferson, these men are the fruits of that humble little Valentine. They, now serving their final months of their prison sentences, have chosen to live in the ivy-covered walls of Cockfield home. They have come here today to learn a little of its tradition from me. One of them is Henderson, the hatchet fiend. Always used to cut them up in the salad bowls, remember?
Yes, I do. Lunch is ready, Mr. Whiteside.
Oh, good. We'll go right in.
Oh, can I help you?
Thank you. We're having chicken livers tetrazzini and cherry jubilee for dessert. I hope every little tummy is rumbling with gastric juices. John, close the door, will you? I don't want a lot of people peering in on their betters.
Yes, sir.
was dreaming of Lillian Russell and awake to find you.
Your medicine, Mr. Whiteside.
What time is it?
About my concert.
Where's Miss Cutler?
She went out.
Out.
All right, if I got up the legs, Mr. Whiteside.
Yes, go right ahead, John.
And Sarah has a surprise for you. She made it special.
She does? Where is she? My souffle queen. Oh, she walks in beauty like the night. And in those deft hands, the art of Michelangelo. Let me taste the new goodie. Poetry. Sheer poetry.
I bet it's such an absinthe in the dough. You like it?
Ambrosia.
And I got your Terrapin Maryland for
Oh,
dinner.
stop. I have known but 3 great cooks in my time, Sarah. The Khedive of Egypt has one. The second is my great aunt Jennifer. And the third, Sarah, is you.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside.
How would you like to come to New York and work for me? You and Johnny.
What, Mr. Whiteside?
Sarah,
Why, it kind of takes my breath away.
it would be wonderful, Mr. Whiteside. But what would we say to Mr. and Mrs. Stanley?
Simply, goodbye.
But they'd be awfully mad, wouldn't they? I mean, they've been very good to us.
Well, if they're ever in New York, we can have them for dinner, if I'm not in town. Now, run along and think about it, but keep this between us, our little secret. And put a lot of sherry in that terrapin. Miss Breen! Miss Breen!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What have you got in there anyway, a sailor?
I was washing my hands.
What time did Miss Cutler go out?
A couple hours ago?
Mr. Jefferson called for her.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Go back to your sex life.
Dear Mr. Whiteside, might I show you a few of my most cherished memories? So I feel that you love them as I do.
Of course. Have we met before somewhere in this family?
Oh, no. I wish so it would have been one of my most cherished memories. Like these. Here I am with my first sweetheart, under our lovely beechwood trees. I was 8, he was 10. I have never forgotten him. Oh, what happy times we
But
had.
I tell you, I'm going to. Mr. Whiteside, I need to talk to you. I don't care whether you're busy or not. I have stood all that I'm going to stand.
Indeed.
Please. I've just received a bill from the telephone company for $784. Oklahoma City, Calcutta, Hollywood, Rome, Australia, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. Now, Mr. Whiteside, I realize you're a distinguished man of letters.
Yes, we both did.
Please, but in the past week, we have not been able to call our souls our own. I have not had a meal in the dining room once. I have to sneak out of the house in the mornings.
Ernest, please.
Please. And then I come home to find convicts sitting at my dinner table, butcher shop murders, and man putting cockroaches in the kitchen.
No, Ernest, they just escaped.
That is not the point. I then go to the bathroom and run into 22 Chinese students that you invited here. I tell you, Mr. Whiteside, I will not stand for it, no matter who you are.
Have you quite finished?
No, I have not. And then I go down to the cellar and trip over an octopus that William Beebe sent you. I tell you, Mr. Whiteside, I will not stand for it, no matter who you are. I want you to leave this house and go to a hotel. Stop pawing me, Daisy! That is all I have to say, Mr. Whiteside.
And quite enough, I should. Let me remind you, Mr. Stanley, that I am not a willing guest of this household. I am informed by my doctor that I must remain quiet for at least another 10 days, at which time I will leave this house so quickly that the wind will knock you over. If, however, you insist on my leaving before that, thereby causing me to suffer a relapse, I shall sue you for every additional day that I have held inactive, for which I assure you will amount to a very tidy sum.
This is outrageous! Outrageous!
As for the details of your other petty complaints, those 22 Chinese students came here straight from the White House, where, I assure you, they used the bathroom as well.
Mr. Whiteside, my husband didn't.
Yes, I did. I meant every word of it.
There is only one point you make where I see some slight justice. I do not expect you to pay for my telephone calls, and and I shall see to it that restitution is made. Can you provide me with the exact amount?
Certainly can, I certainly will.
Good. I shall instruct my lawyers to deduct it from the $150,000 that I received. Now you know that omnibus, which once belonged to Chauncey Depew. Hello, operator. Can I get the journal, please? Yes, Miss Elliott. Hello, journal. Is Mr. Jefferson in? When do you expect him back? No. No message. Come over here, you two. Come on, I don't bite. Now, by nature, I'm a very gracious and charming person. If I veer at it, it is on the side of kindness and amiability. I've been observing you two for the past week, and you seem to me to be extremely likable young people. And when we first met, I'm afraid that I was definitely unpleasant. For that, I am sorry. And I wish you wouldn't continue to look at me as if I were something out of Edgar Allan Poe. How do you like my new tie?
Well, thank you, Mr. Whiteside. This makes things much pleasanter now. And I think your tie is very pretty.
And now that we're on speaking terms, Mr. Whiteside, I'm not afraid to say that I've been admiring all of your ties.
You like this one?
Yes, I certainly do.
It's yours.
Whoa, thank you, Mr. Whiteside.
Really, this curious legend that I'm a difficult person to deal with is pure fabrication. What have you two been up to?
We were ice skating.
Ice skating. Ah, me. I used to cut figure eights myself. Arm in arm with Betsy Ross.
Well, it was wonderful ice today. Oh, Miss Cutler and Mr. Jefferson were there.
Maggie, ice skating.
Yes, and she's quite good, too. Got a marvelous picture of her.
Were they still there when you left?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, they were.
Mr. Whiteside, would you mind if I got a picture of you?
Very well. Do you want my profile?
I'm afraid you're done for, Mr. Whiteside. My brother is a camera fiend.
Thank you so much, Mr. Whiteside. I got a wonderful line.
Really, Sherry, you've got this place like a whole parrot cage. Did you sleep while I was out? What's the matter? Cat run away with your tongue?
Don't look at me with those great cow eyes, you sex-ridden hag. Where have you been all afternoon, alley-catting around with Bert Jefferson?
Sherry, Bert read his play this afternoon. It's superb. He doesn't just have play written by a newspaper man. It's superb. I want you to read it tonight. It cries for Cornell. Will you give it to her? And will you read it tonight?
No, I will not read it tonight or any other night. And now that you're on the subject of Mr. Jefferson, you might ask him to pay your salary, since he takes up all your time.
Oh, come on now, Sherry. It isn't as bad as that.
I couldn't reach you, not knowing what haylofts you frequent.
Stop behaving like a spoiled brat, Sherry.
Don't use that tone with me, you fleeping Cleopatra. I am sick and tired of you sneaking out of the house and acting like some lovesick high school girl every time my back is turned.
Well, Sherry, I'm afraid you hit the nail on the head.
Stop acting like Saucy Pitts and explain yourself.
I'll make it quick. I'm in love.
Nonsense. This is just delayed puberty.
I'm afraid this is it. You're going to do yourself a very excellent secretary.
You are out of your mind.
Yes, I think I am a little. But I was going to wait a long time for this to happen. Now it has. Mr. Jefferson doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to try my darndest to marry him.
Is that it?
Yes. Except, well, I suppose this could be considered my resignation until you found someone else.
Now, listen to me, Maggie. We have been together for a very long time. You are indispensable to me. But I think I am unselfish enough to not let that stand in the way where your happiness is concerned. Besides, you may not know it. I have a very deep affection for you.
I know that, Sherry.
That being said, I will not sit here and allow you to make a fool of yourself.
I'm not, Sherry.
You are. You are behaving like a Booth Tarkington heroine. It's incredible. I can't believe that a girl who, for the past 10 years, has had the great of the world served up before her on a platter. I can't believe it's anything but a kind of temporary insanity when she's swept off her feet in 7 days by a second-rate, small-town newspaper man.
Sherry. I can't explain it either. It's hard to read with you, too. I can only tell you that it's so. Here I am, a hard-bitten old cynic, behaving like True Story magazine and liking it. Discovering the moon and ice skating. I keep laughing to myself, but there it is. What can I do about it, Sherry? I'm in love.
We are leaving tomorrow. Hip or no hip, we are leaving you tomorrow. I don't care if I break the other one. Get a train schedule. I said, get a train schedule and start packing. I'll pull you out of this Miss Stardust. I'll get those ants out of your movement pants.
It's no good, Sherry. It's no good. I'll be back on the next train.
I can't believe it. Can you imagine yourself, wife of the editor of the Massalia Journal, staying at home at night for an evening with Mr. and Mrs. Stanley, Mr. and Mrs. Poopface, and the Book of the Month Club?
Sherry, I've had 10 years in the great figures of our time, and don't think I'm not grateful to you for it. I've loved every minute of it, Sherry. They've been wonderful years, gay and stimulating. But a girl can't love all the time. There comes a time when she wants Bert Jefferson. You don't know Bert, Sherry. He's gentle and unassuming, and I love him.
I see. Well, I remain completely unconvinced. You are drugging yourself into this Joan Crawford fantasy, and before you completely anesthetize yourself, I will do everything in my power to bring you to your senses.
Now listen to me, Whiteside. I know you. Lay off. I know what a devil you can be. I've seen you do it to other people, but don't you dare do it to me. Don't drug yourself into the idea that all you're thinking of is my happiness when you're thinking of yourself a little bit too, and all the months of breaking in somebody new. I've seen you in a passion before when your life gets disrupted and you can't die in Calcutta on July 12th with boo-boo. Well, that's too bad, but there it is. I'm going to marry Bert if he'll have me. So don't you dare try any of your tricks on me. I want every one of them. Lay off. That's my message to you, big word Fauntleroy.
Hello, operator. I'd like to make a transatlantic call. Hello, transatlantic operator. This is Massalia 142. I'd like to speak to Miss Lorraine Sheldon. S-H-E-L-D-O-N. She's on the Normandy. Sailed from Southampton the day before yesterday. How long will it take? All right. Yes. Yes, the name's Whiteside. Thank you.
Good evening, John.
Good evening, Doc.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Whiteside.
Come back tomorrow. I'm busy.
Now, what could be the best possible news I could bring you?
You are hydrophobic.
No! Mr. Whiteside, you are a well man. You can get up and walk now, and you can leave this house tomorrow.
What do you mean?
Well, sir, I was looking at the x-ray scan earlier this afternoon, and I had been looking at the wrong ones. I had been looking at old Miss Moffat's x-rays. You, sir, are absolutely, completely well.
Lower your voice, will you?
What's the matter? Aren't you pleased?
Delighted. Naturally. This is a very unexpected bit of news. It comes at a very curious time. Doctor, I have a bit of good news for you, too. I've been reading your book, 40 years. What is it?
An Ohio doctor, yes.
I consider it extremely close to being one of the greatest contributions to literature in our lifetime. So strongly do I feel about it, Dr. Bradley, that I have a proposition to make for you. Just here and there the book's a little rough, a little uneven. What I want you to do is stay here, Miss Alia, and work with you on it.
Mr. Whiteside, I would be so incredibly honored.
Yes, yes. But there's just one problem, you see. If my lecture bureaus and radio sponsors were to learn that I am well, they would insist on my fulfilling my contracts, and I would be forced to leave Miss Alia. So, we cannot tell anyone, not anyone, that I am well.
I see.
Not even Miss Cutler, you understand?
No, I won't. Not a soul, not even my cat.
That's fine.
When do we begin work? Tonight? I've got just one patient that's dying, but after that
Tomorrow. If you'll excuse me, this is a private call. Hello. Yes, I'm on. Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is. Thank you so much, Mr. Whiteside. You make me so very proud.
Yes.
Make
Yes.
me so proud.
Very proud. Yes, this is Whiteside speaking. Put them through. Is this my blossom girl? How are you doing, my sweet? No, I'm all right. Yes, still out here. Now, Lorraine dear, what time does your play land in New York? Tuesday. That's fine. Now, listen closely, my pet. I have great news for you. I've discovered a wonderful play with an enchanting part in it for you. Cornell would give her eye to play it, but I think I can get it for you. And now, wait, just listen to me. The young author is a newspaper man here in town. Of course, he wants Cornell, but if you hop on a train to get out here, I think you can swing it, if you play your cards right. No, he's young and attractive and just your dish, my dear. All it takes is a little doing, and you're the girl that can do it. Isn't that exciting, my pet? Yes. Yes, and look, don't send me any messages, okay? Just hop on a train and arrive. No need to thank me, my dear. It's perfectly all right. Have a safe trip, and hurry out here. Goodbye, my blossom. Why, Miss Free, don't you look great this evening?
Sherry, I'm sorry for what I said before. I'm afraid I was a little unjust.
It's okay, Maggie. You know, there's a temper every now and then.
I promised to have dinner with Bert and go to a movie later, but we'll come back and play cribbage with you instead.
Fine.
Bye, Sherry dear. See you soon.
Goodbye. I see Destiny a wab in the sunshine. I see Destiny a wab in the rain. Each young sun is like the sleep of morning.
Well, I guess that's all they are, Miss Cutler. They're all under the tree.
Thank you, John. My, I've never seen so many presents. I hardly wait to see what's in them.
When will Mr. Whiteside be opening them?
Well, you see, John, Christmas is Mr. Whiteside's personal property. He invented it, and it belongs to him. First thing tomorrow morning, he'll open each and every one of those presents, and they'll be the damnedest fuss you ever saw.
Why, look who's got presents from Shirley Temple, William Lyon Phelps, Billy Rose, Ethel Waters, Somerset Maugham. My, I can hardly wait till tomorrow. Certainly is wonderful, isn't it? Mr. Whiteside's tree is beautiful, too. Miss Stanley had to put theirs in the room, you know. They can hardly undress at night.
Good morning, Mr. Jefferson. Merry Christmas.
Good morning, John. Hello, Maggie. Merry Christmas, Sarah.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Jefferson.
Say, business is good, isn't it? My little quiet black man on the weekly radio hour can get you, what, just sponsors give them?
A full year's supply of their product. Cream of mush.
We'll give it right back to them over the air.
Wait until you hear tonight's broadcast. It's so sticky I haven't been able to get it off my fingers since I copied it.
I'll bet. Look, Maggie, I have to confess. Under the influence of God knows what, I went out and bought you a Christmas present.
When Mr. Jefferson, sir.
Only before I throw away my hard-earned cash, I'd like you to come downtown and see it. If you take a minute, come down and see.
Why, Bert, this is quite sweet of you. I'm awfully touched. What is it? I can't wait.
Well, it's a 2-year subscription to Pick, Click, Look, and Listen. Say, you really think I'm going to tell you?
All right. Sherry, I'm going out for a while before it's freezing. I won't be long.
Noel, Mr. W. How about a game of cribbage after tonight's broadcast? No. I will not play cribbage with you, Klondike Harry. Where are you off to now, Madam Butterfly?
And you doing a Christmas present. Anything you want done downtown?
Yes. Bring baby back a lollipop. And what are you getting for Christmas, Mr. Jefferson? I've enriched your feeble life beyond your capacity to repay me. Yes, well, that's what I figured, so I'm not getting you anything. Very well. I was thinking of giving you my old trust, but now I shan't. Maggie, what time are those radio men coming?
About 6:30, I'll be here. You've got to cut, Sherry. You're 4 minutes over. And there's a telegram here from Beverly Carlton. He doesn't know what train he can get out of Chicago, but he should be here sometime this evening.
Good. Is he staying the night?
No, he's got to get right out again. He's sailing Friday on the Normandy.
Let's say, do you mind if I come by and peek in the window? Beverly Carlton used to be one of my heroes. Used to be, you escape hacker. Beverly Carlton is one of the single greatest talents in English theater today. Maggie, get this illiterate numbskull out of my sight and don't bring him back. Very well, Mr. Whiteside. I won't come back until Beverly Carlton is here.
Where are we going, Bert? I want to know what you bought me. I'm like a 10-year-old kid.
Maggie, you look like a 10-year-old kid at that. Say, what do you want coming in a room like that without knocking?
But I wasn't coming in, I was coming out.
Miss Preen, you are in this room, are you not?
Yes, but through the door.
Therefore, you came in. Hereafter, please knock.
Mr. Whiteside, there's some expressmen with the crate out back. I told them to go around front.
Thank you, John. Well, don't just stand there, Miss Preen. You look like a frozen custard. Go away.
Careful there. Breathe. Come on. Say, is it some kind of man?
Who's in the room, John?
Admiral T. Byrd. Say.
Bring it over here. Why? They're penguins. 2, 3, 4 penguins. Hello, my pretties.
To be only fed eels, whale blubber, and cracked lobster.
Hello. 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 You know, they make the most entrancing companions, John. I want these brought to the library with me. Take them right in.
Yes, sir.
Better tell Sarah to order a couple dozen lobsters.
Yes, sir.
I don't suppose there's any whale blubber in this town.
Evening!
Ah, yes, there is.
Mr. Whiteside, perhaps you could get to work on my book? I'm working ever so hard on it, and I'm working on some chapters, so I'm ever so excited about them. Do you think they can have some time later?
I don't know. I'm very busy. Sorry, Doctor. I'm sorry you happen to drop in now. I have to do my yogi exercises.
Mr. Whiteside,
Yes, John.
I opened some of the slats. They seem crowded there.
Thank you, John.
But it's been a week now.
Yes, Dr. Bradley, will you go in and capture them for me? There are 4 of them.
Capture the penguins, yes.
Yes, and Miss Preen, will you go entertain them until I come back in?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Whiteside, the Christmas tree in the bedroom fell on Mr. Stanley, and now he has a big bump on his forehead.
Why isn't that too bad? Go ahead, Doctor. Go on, Miss Preen.
Hello, Mr. Whiteside.
Hello, Dickie, my boy.
Mr. Whiteside, do you think you'll have time later tonight?
Not now, I'm busy.
Suppose I'll wait in here.
Dr. Bradley is the greatest living argument for mercy killings. Well, how would you like a candid camera shot of my left nostril this evening?
I'm afraid I'm all stuck up on those, Mr. Whiteside. If you got a minute, would you mind taking these other ones I've taken?
I'd be delighted. Why, these are splendid, Richard. There's real artistry in them. These are as good as anything by Margaret Borg White. I love everything that you're showing me here. This is the essence of photographic journalism.
Say, I didn't know they were that good.
I just like to take pictures, that's all.
You know, I've been meaning to talk to you about this, Richard. You're not just a kid fooling around with a camera anymore. You're good at this. This is what you ought to do. You ought to do some of those things you were telling me about. Just hop on a boat and get off wherever it stops. Galveston, Mexico, Singapore, and just take pictures. Millions of them. Wonderful pictures, terrible pictures, everything.
Say, wouldn't I love to? I've been dreaming of that for years. If I could do that, I'd be the happiest man alive.
Well, then why don't you do it? If I were your age, I'd do it like a shot.
Well, you know why. Dad.
Richard, is this what you want to do more than anything else in the world?
Yes, it certainly is.
Then do it.
Hello, Dick. Hello, Mr. Whiteside.
Good afternoon, June, my lamb. Well, I suppose the rest is up to you, Richard.
Well, yes, I suppose it is, Mr. Whiteside. Thank you so much. You've been a great help. I'll never forget this.
Righto, Richard.
June, are you coming upstairs?
In a minute, Richard.
Okay, well, when you do, knock on my door. I want to tell you something.
Of course. Mr. Whiteside.
June, my lamb, you were too young to know about the LL murder case, weren't you? Completely fascinating. I have about 5 favorite murder cases in my time, and the LL is one of them. Would you like to hear it?
Well, Mr. Whiteside, I was wondering if I could talk to you for a few minutes, if you wouldn't mind. It's important.
Of course, my dear. I assume this is about that young Lothario at the factory.
Yes. I can't seem to make Father understand. It's like talking to a blank wall. He won't meet with him, he won't talk about it. What are we going to do, Mr. Whiteside? Sandy and I love each other. I don't know where to turn.
June, I'd like to meet this young man. I'd like to see him for myself.
Would you really, Mr. Whiteside? Would you need him? I'll get him. He's in the kitchen. Right outside.
Go on, bring him right in.
Mr. Whiteside, he's a sensitive boy. You will be nice to him, won't you?
Damn it, June. When will you learn that I'm always kind and courteous? Bring this idiot in.
This is him, Mr. Whiteside. This is Sandy.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do, young man? I've been hearing quite a bit about you from June this past week. It seems to me, if I have been correctly informed, that you two babes in the wood have quietly gone out of your mind.
There's another word for it, Mr. Whiteside. It's called love.
Yes, well, you've come to the right place. Dr. Sheridan Whiteside. Broken hearts mended, brakes relined, hamburgers. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, if you didn't have anything to know, Mr. Whiteside, you'll know the jam we're in. You see, I work for the labor union. I'm an organizer, and I've been organizing the Maggie Cutler, Mr. Stanley's factory, and he's pretty sore at it.
I'll bet.
Did you tell you that?
Yes, she did.
Well, that being the case, Mr. Whiteside, I don't think I have the right to try and influence June. If she were to marry me, it would mean a definite break with her family, and I don't want to get involved about that. Mr. Stanley's so stubborn, so arbitrary about it.
My dear, this is absurdly simple. It's really no problem at all. Now, to my jaundiced eye, it seems to me that... Oh. Hello? Yes, this is Whiteside. Oh, excuse me, it's a transatlantic call. Who's calling? Oh, put them through. It's Walt Disney from Hollywood. Hello, Walt. How's my little dash of genius? Yes, I hoped you would. Oh, how did you know I was out here? I see. Yes, I'm listening, Walt. Now. 10 seconds more. Walt Disney calls me every Christmas. Yes, I can hear it, Walt. It sounds perfectly like static. June. Thank you, old man, and a very Merry Christmas to you. Now, tell me, what's been going on in Hollywood? Who's in Lana Turner's sweater these days? I see. Well, goodbye, Walt, and don't worry about Fantasia. Beethoven hasn't written a hit in years. Goodbye. You know what that was you heard on the telephone just there? The voice of Donald Duck.
Not really.
Yes. Walt calls me every Christmas that I can hear it. 2 years ago, I was walking on the ocean floor in a diving suit with William Bean, and he got me. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, June. I like you, young man. I have an unerring instinct about people. I've never been wrong. That's why I wanted to meet him. See him for myself. It is my belief that you two will be very happy together. Whatever his beliefs, he's entitled to them. And I think you should let nothing stand in your way. The way I see it, it's really no problem at all. Stripped of all its externals, what does it come down to? The chance of making your father unhappy. Is that right?
Very unhappy.
That's not the point, June. Say he is unhappy. It's good for him. Develops character. Look at me. I left my house at the age of 4 and haven't been back since. They hear my voice on the radio, and that's enough for them.
Then your advice is to go ahead, Mr. Whiteside.
Yes, it is. Marry him tonight, June.
You really mean it, Mr. Whiteside?
No. I mean you should marry Hamilton Fish. If I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say it. What do you want me to do? Say it again?
Come on, baby, stop darling.
It is my own opinion that you are not worthy of this young man.
That's father.
Forgive us for trespassing, Mr. Whiteside.
No, it's all right. It's Christmas, you know. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. June, would you like to come along with us for delivering some presents to the Dexter? No, thanks, Mother. I've got to write some letters.
Go ahead. What happened to your forehead, Mr. Stanley? Did you get in an accident?
No, I've been taking some boxing lessons.
Mr. Whiteside, I've been trying all day to see you, to give you this.
Why, Miss Stanley, a Christmas gift for me.
It's only a trifle, but I wanted you to have it. It's a Christmas present. It's a picture of me as I once was, taken on another Christmas many years ago. Many years ago. Don't open it until the stroke of midnight, will you? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Mr. Whiteside, did you tell him Michelle was here?
My blossom girl.
Oh, Sherry, my sweet! Oh, you poor darling. Look at that poor sweet tortured face. Let me kiss it. One. Oh, Sherry, how drawn you are. I want to cry.
Well, now that you've made a very nice entrance, dear, relax, my darling.
But, Sherry, I've been so worried, and I've seen you in that chair.
This chair fits my fanny as nothing else ever has. And I haven't felt better in years. Now, all I'm concerned with is news of the outside world. So take off that skunk, sit down, and tell me what's been going on.
Darling, I'm so relieved. You look perfectly wonderful. I've never seen you look better. Tell me, do I look a wreck? I just dashed to New York. Didn't do a thing about Christmas.
Had a cardigan and had my hair done, hopped right on the train. And the Normandy coming back was simply hectic. Fun, you know, but simply exhausting. Jock Whitney and Cary Grant and Dorothy DeFaso, it was too exhausting. Oh, and of course London before that was so magnificent, my dear. Well, I simply never got to bed at all. Oh, I have so much to tell you, I don't know where to start.
Well, start with the dirt first, dear. That's what I want to hear.
Let me see. Sybil Cartwright got thrown right out of Sierra's. It was the night before I left. She was wearing one of those new cellophane dresses, and you could absolutely see Trafalgar Square. And Sir Harry Montross, the painter you know, is Sir Rudy's mother for disorderly conduct. It's just shocked everyone. And oh, before I forget, Anthony Eden says he's going to be on your New Year's broadcast, Sherry. And I have a message for you from Beatrice Silly. She says to take off 25 pounds right away and send them to her by parcel post. She needs them.
I'll pack the nuts. Now, tell me, Lorraine, what about you? What about your love life? I don't believe for a second that you never got to bed at all, if you'll excuse the expression.
Sherry, you're dreadful.
Well, what about that lovely bit of English money? Your old botany. Haven't you hooked him yet?
Sherry, please. Cedric is a dear friend of mine.
Now, Blossom Girl, this is Sherry. Don't try and pull the red cross over my eyes. Don't tell me you wouldn't love to be Lady Bottomley with £100,000 a year and 12 castles. By the way, has he fixed those teeth yet? Every time I order Roquefort cheese, I think those teeth.
Sherry, please. Cedric may not be brilliant, but he's rather sweet, poor lamb, and he's very fond of me. And he does represent a kind of English way of living that I do like. Surrey in London for this season, shooting box in Scotland, oh, and that lovely old castle in Wales. You were there, Sherry, you know what I mean.
Yes, indeed.
Well, really, Sherry, why not? If I can marry Cedric, I don't see why I shouldn't. Shall I tell you something, Sherry? I think from something he said just before I sailed that he's finally coming around to it. I mean, it was definite, mind you, but don't be surprised if I have Lady Bottomley before very long.
Lady Bottomley! Won't Kansas City be surprised? However, I shall be the flower girl and give an iron toothpick to the groom as a wedding present. Now, come, Lorraine. I want to hear more of that skullduggery of yours.
Well, Mr. Whiteside?
Not now.
Who's that?
She fixes the plumbing. Now. Come, I want to hear more news.
But Sherry, what about this play? I mean, I've come all the way from New York, even on Christmas Eve, and I've been so excited to visit your phone call. Where is it? When can I read it?
Very well. The situation is, the young man, his name is Bert Jefferson, he's a newspaper man in town. He gave me the play with the understanding that I'd give it to Catherine Cornell. It's a wonderful part, and God knows I feel disloyal to Kit.
Sherry?
Well, now you're here, and since I've done all this for you, the rest is up to you. He's very young and attractive, and just how you'll go about persuading him, I'm sure you know more about than I do.
Darling, how can I ever thank you? Does he know I'm coming, Mr. Jefferson, I mean?
No, you're just here visiting me, and that's all. You'll get him to take you out to dinner, and then work around to the play. By God, Lorraine, do I have to tell you how to do this? How to do all those other parts?
Sherry! I'll go change into something more attractive. After all, I just stuffed my bags and rushed right over here. Darling, you're wonderful.
Okay, Lorraine, go and get into your work clothes, and then come back and take Sherry. And I'll have Bert Jefferson on tap. By the way, I have a surprise for you. Guess who's paying me a flying visit tonight? None other than your old friend and co-star, Beverly Carlton.
Really? Beverly? I thought he was being glamorous again on a train steamer.
Now, Lorraine, don't be bitter just because he got better notices than you did.
Don't be silly, Sherry. I never read notices. I simply wouldn't care to act with him again, that's all. He's not staying here, is he? I hope not.
Temper. No, he's not. But did you keep those diamond ears? That's a new bit of Luke, isn't it?
Oh, haven't you seen these before? Cedric gave them to me for his mother's birthday. She was simply furious. Well, I've got a taxi waiting outside.
What do you think, Sherry? I've just been given the most beautiful.
Hello, Maggie. I knew you must be around here somewhere. How are you, dear?
Since has been at work, my pet. Lorraine just dropped in out of the blue and surprised us.
Hello, Lorraine.
Who is that, Bert? Come on in, Bert. Mr. Jefferson, this is Miss Lorraine Sheldon. Lorraine, this is Mr. Jefferson, the newspaper man. entire life story, kindly do so on your own time. Maggie and I have work to do. Get out of here, Jefferson. On your way, Blossom. On your way.
He's the world's rudest man, isn't he? Can I drop you, Mr. Jefferson? I'm going down to the mansion house.
Oh, no thank you. I have my car, but suppose I drop you?
Oh, would you? That'd be lovely. Well, we'll send the taxi off. I'll see you in a little while, Sherry. Bye, Maggie.
Oh, goodbye, Maggie. I'm invited back for dinner, am I not? Yes, yes. I always see the new during Christmas. Now, stop oozing out and get out.
Come on, Mr. Jefferson. I want to know more about this little town of yours. And I want to know a good deal about you.
Now, where's the copy of that broadcast? How much do they want cut? 4 minutes.
That's right. 4 minutes. She's looking very well, isn't she?
What? Who?
The Countess de Pushover. Quite a surprise, wasn't it, her dropping in like this?
Yes. Yes, it was. Now, back to work, Maggie. Back to work.
Why, she must have gone for New York with a dose of salts. How long is she going to stay?
I don't know. A few days, maybe. This joyous season of the year, in the hearts of men. I can't cut that.
Isn't it curious? There was Lorraine, snug as a bug in somebody's bed on the Normandy.
Ere the Yuletide pass.
Now, Sherry, dear, we will talk a bit.
Now, listen to me, Maggie. Just because one of my friends happens to drop in for Christmas does not mean I have a suspicion that's Beverly. Don't hit the door, will you? Run! Run!
Magpie!
Beverly!
A large, moist, incestuous kiss for my magpie.
Come over here, you big lily pen pusher, and gaze upon a soul in agony.
Don't tell me how you are, Sherry, dear. I want none of the tiresome details. I only have a little time, so the conversation will have to be entirely about me. So, shall I tell you how I glided through the South Seas like a silver scimitar? Or how I frolicked through Zambezia, raping the Major General's daughter and finishing a 3-act play, all at the same time? Magpie, you are the blue clover of my middle age. I love you very much. Say something tender to me.
Beverly, darling.
That's my girl. Now, Sherry, without going into mountainous waves of self-pity, how are you?
I'm fine, you presumptuous cockney. How's the trip? Wonderful.
Fabulous. I did a fantastic amount of work. By the way, did I catch a glimpse of that Mondor butterfly with Sheldon in a motor car as I came with the drive one?
You did indeed. She's paying us a Christmas visit.
My dear girl, they do say she set her mother on fire, but I don't believe them. Sherry, my evil one, not only have I written the finest comedy since Moliere, but the best review since my last one, and an operetta that frightens me. It's so good. I shall play it for 8 weeks in London and 6 in New York. That's it. No matinees. Then I'm off to the Grecian Islands. Why don't you come with me, Magpie? Why not desert this cannonball of love and come with me?
Be careful, Beverly. You're catching me at a very good moment.
Now, how was the trip to Hollywood? Wonderful? How long were you there?
3 outstanding days. I saw everyone from Adrian to Xana. They came, the Portiers, as to a shrine. I was insufferably charming and ruthlessly firm in refusing $7 million for 2 minutes of work.
What about banjo? Did you see my wonderful banjo in Hollywood?
I did. He gave a dinner for me. I showed up in white tie and tails, and then I was greeted by 2 glowing butlers who then proceeded to remove my trousers. I was then ushered in my lemon silk drawers into a room full of Norman Shearer, Claudette Colbert, and Aldous Huxley, among others. Dear incomparable banjo.
I'll never forget that summer in Timmy's when he put a microphone under Lorraine's mattress and then played the recording the next day at lunch.
I remember indeed. Lorraine left Aunt Timmy's by the next boat.
I wish Banjo were here now.
What's wrong, Lorraine? What's wrong? Is Lorraine being her sweet, sick-making self again?
You wouldn't take her to the Grecian Islands with you, would you, Beverly? Just for me?
Now, Lorraine is a charming person who has graciously given up her Christmas to spend it with me.
Oh, I knew I had a little bit of dirt for us to go on.
Mr. Whiteside.
Not now.
You kidnapped someone, Jerry.
Yes, that was Charlie Ross. Well, what is it? Something juicy.
As a pomegranate, I have the latest news on Miss Lorraine's winter maneuvers on the left flank. In fact, all flanks of Lord Cedric Bottomley. Listen, Lorraine has just left us at a Cloud of Chanel No. 5 since September in a relentless pursuit of his lordship. She has paused only to change her griddles and check her oil. She is chased and panting from castle to castle till he finally took refuge,
For several weekends in the gentleman's laboratory in the House of Lords. Practically no one is betting on the Derby this year. We're all making book on Lorraine. She is sailing tomorrow on the Normandy, but would return on the Atlantic Clipper, boggingly so much as belches in her direction. Have you ever met Lord Bottomley?
No, I haven't.
No, not very good shooting today, blasted. Only 4 goose, 6 partridges, and the Duke of Sutherland. Ripping.
My God, that's Bottomley to his very bottom.
Ripping debate in the House of Lords today. Old Basil stood up for 3 hours, dropped dead at the end of it. Ripping.
You're making it up, Beverly. No one talks like that.
It's so good, it's uncanny. Damn it, Beverly. Why must you rush out of here like this? I never get to see enough of you, you ungrateful market.
I can only tell you that I love you so much that I changed trains to Chicago just to spend 10 minutes with you and to wish you Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, my lad. My little magpie.
Beverly.
Now I have just enough time to tell you about the second number of my new review. It's fantastic!
Damn it, Maggie, get rid of them.
Hello? Oh, hello, Bert. Just wait 1 minute. Beverly, would you talk to this newspaper man for just 2 minutes? I kind of promised him.
I would if you were under the piano.
Oh. Wait a minute. Beverly, would you meet him at the train station just for a minute before your train goes? Bert, go down to the train station. He'll be there in just a few minutes. Bye.
Beverly, I bet it's superb. Probably the best thing you've ever written.
Please, let me say that.
Ah, come on in, Westcott.
Right this way, gentlemen. Ah, the airwaves. I shan't hear them, thank God. I'll be on the train.
Mr. Westcott, will you go in there? John, will you show him where to plug in? Come on, Whiteside, say goodbye.
What the hell are you doing, Maggie? I want to talk to Beverly.
You can kiss Beverly and Calcutta on July 12th.
I won't be rushed out of here like a baby that has to have his diaper.
Hold on, Marjorie. Merry Christmas. Come get a kiss, magpie.
Beverly, I need one minute. I must have it. You almost your train. The station's a minute and a half from here.
What is it, magpie? What's going on?
Go away!
Oh, I'm just waiting for Mr. White.
Who was that?
Never mind. I have a problem.
What is it?
I fall in love.
No.
Yes. For the first time in my life, I'm in love. I can't explain it. There's not much time, but Sheridan's trying to break it up. He's doing everything in his own fiendish way to break it up.
Why, you'll flounder. What is he up to?
Lorraine. He's brought Lorraine here to smash it up.
So, he's here, in this town?
It's the newspaper man. The one you're going to meet at the station, and he's written quite a good play, and I know Sheridan's using that as bait. And you know Lorraine. She'll leave him alive. You have to help me.
Of course. What do you want me to do?
You have a proper copy of the broadcast, Miss Cutler?
Yes, there's one on that table right there.
Thanks. What other thing was it original?
Here's what I planned.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's heaven. It pitches Sherry and Lorraine at the same time. I adore it, and I shall do it up brown.
Darling, the first baby will be named Beverly. You're wonderful.
Of course I am. Come to Chiswick for your honeymoon, and I'll put you up. Goodbye, my sweet. Mercy, let me out of here.
Shall I straighten up the room for the broadcast, Miss Cutler?
No, John, it isn't television. They only do the liquid voice, thank God.
He's wonderful, isn't he, Mr. Whiteside? Things he finds time to do.
Yes, he certainly finds his way to stick his nose into everything.
Are my voices on, Miss Cutler?
Yes, they are, Mr. Westcott.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Are you going away?
No, John, no. Mr. Whiteside isn't there, I suppose?
Why, yes, he's getting ready to go on the radio.
Oh, John, would you? No, never mind. John,
Where is he? The library?
Yes, he's busy.
Maybe we are going.
I
scene that the critics thought was so magnificent, he kept dropping peanut shells down my dress. I wouldn't have to come again if I was starving.
Tell me, Lorraine, have you found a new play yet?
No, I haven't. I have a pile of manuscripts waiting in New York for me, but I just hurried up here to Sheridan.
It's quite wonderful of you to drop everything and rush to Sherry's wheelchair.
Well, after all, Maggie dear, what has one in this world but friends?
That's what I always say.
Is everything okay?
Yes, thank you.
How long will Sherry be in there?
Not long. You know, Mr. Jefferson's written a pretty good play.
The young man that took you to the hotel? Oh, no, I didn't know that. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is, isn't it?
They put a polish on my nails that I simply loathe. I don't suppose Elizabeth Arden has a branch out here? Not if she has any sense. Oh, well, I'll bear it, but it does depress me. Have you read this, Maggie dear? Everybody was reading it on the boat. I hear you simply can't put it down.
I put it down right there. Hello? Yes. Yes. Miss Lorraine Sheldon, yes, she's right here. There's a transatlantic phone call coming through for you.
Transatlantic? Here? For me? Why, what in the world?
It's London.
London. Hello? Hello? Cedric? Cedric, is this you? Why, Cedric, what a surprise, you darling. How did you know I was here? What? Cedric, don't talk so fast and you won't stutter so. I see. Darling. What? Cedric, would you wait just a moment? Maggie, would you mind? It's Lord Bodley, a very personal phone call. Would you mind?
Of course not.
Yes, my dearest, now tell me. Cedric, please don't be nervous. Don't stutter so. Oh, my darling. Oh, my sweet. You don't know how I prayed for this every night on the boat. Darling, yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Oh, I'll take a plane right out of here and catch the next boat. What? Darling, don't stutter so. Yes, and I love you, my darling, oh, so much. Oh, my darlingest darling, my dear sweet. Oh, I'll think of you every moment. Yes, yes, I will, darling. You make me the happiest girl in the world. Goodbye, goodbye, Cedric, goodbye. Sherry! Sherry! Do you know what just happened? Cedric just called from London and asked me to marry him.
What?
Oh, Sherry, at last. Think of it. I've got to get right out of here and catch the next boat.
May I come in?
Oh, Maggie, dear, I simply must get out of here and catch the next boat. What is it? Do you know? Is there a newspaper?
Are the Queen Mary? So it's Friday. What's happened?
Oh, Maggie, the most wonderful thing in the world has happened. Lord Bottom has asked me to marry him. Oh, Maggie!
Well, who would have thought?
Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? I'm so excited I can hardly think. You must help me get right out of here.
I'd be delighted to, Lorraine.
Thank you. We look things up right away.
Of course, I've got a timetable right here. And don't worry, if there isn't a train to Cleveland, I'll drive you there myself.
Darling, you're wonderful. Sherry, what's the matter with you? You haven't said a word to me. You haven't even congratulated me yet.
Am I to understand, Lorraine, from all your girlish squealing that you intend to throw your entire career into the ash can?
Oh, no, not at all. Of course, I won't be able to play this season, but there'll be another season, Sherry.
But everything goes into the ash can with it. Is that right?
Sherry, you can't really expect
No, I understand, Lorraine. I also understand why Catherine Cornell remains the first actress of our theater.
Oh, this is wonderful. More than luck, Lorraine. There's a plane out of Cleveland at 10:03, and it takes about an hour to get there. This works out wonderfully, doesn't it, Sherry?
Peachy.
What's the number of the hotel I'm staying at? I have to get my maid started packing right away.
Rosalia 32.
Sally up here too, please. Let's see. I sailed Friday, 5-day book. I ought to be in London by Wednesday. Hello? Mansion House? This is Miss Sheldon. That's right. Connect me with my maid, will you?
Look, it's starting to snow, Sherry. I've never felt more like Christmas in my life. Isn't it wonderful? Don't you, Sherry, dear?
Shut your nasty little face.
Cosette? Now listen carefully, Cosette. We're leaving here tonight by plane instead of Friday on the Queen Mary. I want you to start packing immediately and I'll call you in about an hour. That's right. Now I want you to send these cables for me. Have you got a pencil? Right? The first one goes to the Lord and Lady Cutler. You'll find all these addresses in my little book. It's in my dressing case. Lord and Lady Cutler, my darlings, returning Friday, Queen Mary, Cedric and I being married immediately on arrival. Wanted you to be the first to know. Love, the rain. Now send. What? Oh, thank you, Cosette. Thank you very much. Now send the same message to the lady Astor, Lord Beaverbrook, and my mother in Kansas City. Got that? And I want you to send a telegram to Hattie Carnegie, New York. And I want you to send another one to Monsieur Pierre Cartier at Cartier's the London. Will you please hold in reserve for me the triple string of pearls I picked up in October? Cable me Queen Mary and Lorraine Sheldon. Have you got all that straight, Cosette? That's fine. Now you need to hurry. I'll be at the hotel in about an hour, so be ready. Goodbye, Cosette. Oh, she's the most wonderful maid in the world. I die without her. Well, life's just full of surprises. Who would have thought an hour ago I'd be on my way to London?
An hour ago? I certainly would have thought so an hour ago.
Oh, both of you, please stop your female dribbling. I have a headache.
Do you want me to get you something, Sherry?
Sherry, look, I'm sorry if I've offended you, but after all, my life is my own.
Hello, everybody. So you know it's snowing outside, but we're gonna have a real old-fashioned Christmas. Why don't you telephone your script to the New York Times?
Bert, Miss Sheldon hasn't had to plan out our weekend, and I was thinking we could drive there. You and I?
Oh, why certainly. I'm sorry I have to go, Miss Sheldon. No bad news, I hope.
Oh, no, not at all. Very good news, wonderful news.
Yes, indeed. I think it calls for a drink. You're not being a very good host, Sherry. How about a bottle of champagne?
Oh, I can do better than that. Let me fix you up a Jefferson special, all right, Mr. Whiteside? Yes. Fix anything. Only stop dribbling. Maggie, has anyone noticed my Christmas present yet?
Oh, dear, I forgot. Look, everybody, from Mr. Jefferson to me.
Oh, how lovely. Let me see it. Oh, and it's inscribed to Maggie. Long may she reign. Bert. Oh, well, that's a lovely Christmas present. Isn't that sweet, Sherry?
Ducky.
I told you this beautiful Bert. See?
Well, shows you what you get when you save your coupons.
What's going on between you two anyhow? Are you hiding something from Miss Maggie?
Will this dribble ever end? My head's bursting. Don't worry, Mr. Whiteside, Jefferson special will fix anything. Oh, and by the way, I ran into Beverly Carlton down at the station. You were read about him. He's, well, quite something.
Go ahead, Bert. Mix the drinks.
On the fire. Barely got 2 minutes in. He was in the telephone booth most of the time.
Bert, will you mix the drinks?
Okay. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but from the faces he was making, it looked like he was doing one of those plays of his.
For God's sake, Bert, will you mix the drinks?
Just a second, Mr. Jefferson. You said Beverly was in a telephone booth at the station. Certainly was. I thought he'd never come out. Kept talking and making the damnedest faces for about 5 minutes. Bert, you know I'd love one of your Jefferson specials. Make me a double, will you? My headache has gone with the wind. All right. Philo Bates is now at work. Hello, operator. Tell me, have there been any transatlantic calls from England over this telephone within the past half hour?
Sherry, what is all this?
No. Shh. What's this? There haven't been any calls from England over the past 3 days. Thank you. The reindeer. Now, will you repeat that, please? Hear it, dear? Thank you, operator, and have a very Merry Christmas.
Sherry, what is all this? What does this mean?
You have just played out the greatest love scene of your career, with none other than your old friend and co-star, Beverly Carlton.
Why, that's not true. I was talking to Cedric. What do you mean?
I mean, Lorraine, that was Beverly you poured out your girlish heart to, not Lord Bottomley. Ah, me. Who would have thought 5 minutes ago you wouldn't be going to London?
Sherry, I want this explained.
Explained? You heard the operator, didn't you? All I can tell you is that Beverly was indulging in one of his famous moments of mimicry.
and that's a very charming phrase that Mr. Jefferson gave, isn't it, Maggie dear? Of course. It all makes complete sense now. And to think that I almost, well, wild horses couldn't get me out of here now, Maggie dear. And if I were you, I'd hold on to that bracelet. It'll be something to remember me by.
All right, Mr. Whiteside, almost time. How about when I start testing? Just recover the broadcast.
How much time?
A couple more minutes. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Here comes the Jefferson special. Oh, do we have the time?
Oh, I think we have. My plans have changed. I'm not leaving after all.
Oh, really? That's great.
I hear you've written simply marvelous play, Mr. Whiteside. Mr. Jefferson, I want you to read it to me tonight. Will you? We'll go back to the mansion house after dinner. You can read it to me then.
Why, I should certainly think so. Maggie, did you hear that? Maggie, Michelle wants to read my play. I bet you set this whole thing up. I bet you arranged the whole thing. Maggie, this is the best Christmas present you could have given me. Maggie! Maggie! Mr. Whiteside!
Whiteside is turned up on a freighter. My daughter is marrying an anarchist. White! They say you told to do it.
My poor June, my poor Richard. This is so uncomfortable.
Quiet! Just be quiet. We're about to go in the air.
Please don't tell me to be quiet.
Quiet! For God's sake, just step aside. I've got work to do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Cream of Mush brings you Sheridan Whiteside.
This is Sheridan Whiteside speaking. Now, this joyous season of the year, when my heart is overflowing with peace and kindness, I find it necessary to tell once again that story of that night, nigh over 2,000 years ago. When first the star of Bethlehem appeared in the wondrous sky.
I knew my keeper.
Miss Cutler come downstairs yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Is she in her room?
Yes, sir. Shall I call her?
No. No, that's all right. That's everything gone. Thank you.
I'm leaving, Sheridan. Taking a 1 o'clock train.
You will do no such thing.
Here is P and your driver's license. And the keys to the safe deposit vault are in the apartment in New York. I better go in here now and pick these up.
Now, just a minute, Mrs. Siddons. Where were you until 3 o'clock this morning? I stayed up all night in the station wagon worrying about you. You heard me when you called when I called for you when you came in. Why didn't you answer me?
Sherry. It's over. You've won. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, come, Maggie. What are you trying to do? Make me feel like a naughty, naughty schoolboy? Really, you are very annoying sometimes, Maggie.
You know, you're quite wonderful in a way, Sherry. You're annoyed? I wish there was a laugh left in you. Shall I tell you something, Sherry? I think you're a petty egomaniac who would see his mother burn at the stake if that was the only way he could light a cigarette. I think you would sacrifice your best friend without a moment's hesitation if he was to disturb the sacred routine of your
You'll be thanking me instead of berating me.
Oh, in 6 months, I want to be so far away from you.
Hello! 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 Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas! A little high, but I can explain everything. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Mr. Whiteside. Mwah. Shake hands with a successful playwright. Maggie. Last night, Miss Sheldon read the play. She said it's wonderful. Miss Sheldon read the play. She thinks it's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful, Maggie?
Yes, that's fine, Bert.
Isn't that wonderful, Mr. Whiteside? Bert, I often think you should go home, don't you? What? No. This is the biggest day of my life. Maybe a little drunk, but today is a big day. Maggie. Miss Sheldon, this is the play needs a little bit of work. We'll do it in 3 weeks. She has a little place on Lake Placid that she's going to take me to, just for 3 weeks. We're going to work on the play together. Isn't that wonderful, Maggie? Maggie, why don't you say something? Bert, I think you should explain this to all of us later. Now, why don't you just go home and eat a little breakfast, okay?
Merry Christmas, everybody!
God bless us all in Tiny Tim!
Yes! Mr. Whiteside, I thought if I came in especially early, then maybe...
Have you heard of a place called Lake Placid?
No.
Well, have you heard of the famous actress, Miss Lorraine Sheldon? Because I'm going to her with Lake Placid for 3 weeks.
Wonderful. Mr. Whiteside.
Dr. Bradley, I think Mr. Jefferson would like a little black coffee and some breakfast. Would you take care of it for me?
Yes, of course.
You know what, Doc? I'm going to buy breakfast for you. The biggest breakfast you ever had.
Yes, of course, Mr. Jefferson.
You know what? I have a friend who doesn't believe in Santa Claus. He climbed out his chimney and frightened the hell out of me. Now, Maggie, I'll agree to forgive your tawdry little outburst and talk about this calmly.
I love him so terribly. Why did you do it, Sheridan? Why did you?
Merry Christmas, Miss Stanley.
You know, I really shouldn't be seen talking to you, but I just couldn't resist asking, did you like my Christmas present?
I haven't opened it yet, Miss Stanley.
Oh, well, I was just so anxious to... It's right over here, Mr. Whiteside. Well, we'll show you it now.
No, this is very thoughtful of you, Miss Stanley. Why? I love this old photograph. It's simply wonderful.
It was taken when I was 22 years old. That's my favorite dress. Do you really like it?
I do. I really do. When I get back to town, I shall send you a little something.
Oh, will you? Oh, I will treasure it. Oh, well, I'll be late for church. Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Mr. Whiteside, Sarah has a surprise for you. She's taking it right out of the oven.
Oh, she does. I can't wait. Miss Breen! Miss Breen!
Yes, sir.
Answer the door, will you? John's upstairs.
Who is it?
Howdy, Agnes. I love you. I love you, Maggie. Kiss me once more. Don't be afraid of my passion. I can feel the hot blood pumping through your varicose veins.
Banjo! For God's sake, Banjo!
Who are you? Hello, Whiteside. You sign for this package, please.
Banjo!
Mr. Whiteside!
Put that woman down, that's my nurse.
Meet me in my room in half an hour and bring some rye bread.
Really, Mr. Whiteside?
I've come to spend Christmas with you. Give me a kiss.
Get off away from me, you reformed school fugitive! How did you get here anyway?
Daryl Zanuck loaned me his reindeer. Whiteside, we finished shooting the picture yesterday, and I'm on my way to Nova Scotia. Flew here in 12 hours. Borrowed a plane from Howard Hughes. Oh, Whiteside, I have the most wonderful Christmas present for you. This brassiere was once worn by Henry Lamar.
Shut up, you idiot. How long are you staying?
Only long enough to take it back. I'm on my way to Nova Scotia. Where's Maggie?
Nova Scotia? What are you going to Nova Scotia for?
I'm sick of Hollywood, and there's this thing in New York I want to see. You gotta go to Nova Scotia, get myself some smoked salmon. Who the hell is Maggie? I want to see her. What's the matter with you? Where is she?
Banjo, I'm very glad you're here. I'm extremely frustrated with Maggie.
What's the matter? Say, what's this? I thought you couldn't walk.
Oh, I've been all right for weeks. It's not the point. Maggie's going to turn on me like a viper. You know how fond I am of her. Well, after all these years, she's repaying me by behaving like a fishwife.
What are you talking about?
I just didn't think you should actually fall in love with him.
In love with who? I just got
I'm telling you, you Hollywood nitwit. Young newspaper man, here in town.
So Maggie finally fell? Well, what do you know? What kind of guy is he?
Listen, you idiot.
Well, go on. What happened?
Well, Lorraine just happened to visit me while I was in town.
Old hot pants? Here?
Yes. The young man who's written a play. You can figure out the rest. Lorraine's taking him away this afternoon to rewrite. Maggie's in there now, crying her eyes out.
Gee, wait a minute. You're telling me Lorraine Sheldon just happened to come here? I smell a rat, Sherry. A rat with curly hair.
All right, well, I did it for Maggie because I thought it was the right thing for her.
Ah, sure. You haven't thought about yourself in years. Can I go in and talk to her?
No, Banjo, leave her alone.
Well, is there any way I can help Sherry? Where's this guy live? This guy she likes.
No, Banjo, I don't need any phony warrants or you pretending to be J. Edgar Hoover. I've been through all of that with you. Got Lorraine here, and now I need to get her away.
Well, it's gotta be good. Lorraine's no dope. There's gotta be something that'll get her out of here like a bat out of hell. Say, I think I got it. That fellow over in England she's so fond of, what's his name? Lord Fanny or whatever. Bobby, that's it, Bobby.
No, Banjo, no.
Wait a minute. You don't catch on. We send a cablegram to Lorraine from Lord
I
Bobby.
caught on, Banjo. Lorraine caught on too. It's been tried.
Oh. Well, I told you Lorraine was no dope. Whiteside, it seems we have a tough proposition on your hands.
Trouble is, there's not enough time. Get the hell out of my chair! Lorraine's taking you away this afternoon. Damn! 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 Trouble is, I've done my job too well. Hell of damnation.
Stuck, huh?
The words of one of our greatest lyric poets. You said it.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure something out, Sherry. We'll get Lorraine and Sheldon out of here if I have to do it one piece at a time.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside. Excuse me. I've got something for you. That is for Mr. Whiteside.
Excuse him, Sarah. He's quite mad.
Come, Tatushka. We shall dance. We shall dance in the snow.
Mr. Whiteside.
Just give him some breakfast, Sarah. He's harmless. And what does this mean?
It means, Mr. Whiteside, that I'm leaving. I left my address on the desk inside. You can mail me a check.
You realize, Miss Prin, that this is completely unprofessional.
Oh, I do indeed. You see, I'm not just leaving this case, Mr. Whiteside. I'm leaving the nursing profession. I became a nurse
labored agitator that you so kindly picked out for her. As for my son, he has been apprehended in Toledo and will drop him within an hour. Not having your gift for infective, sir, I cannot tell you what I think of your obnoxious interference in my affairs, but I assure you, you will interfere no longer. There are 2 deputy sheriffs waiting outside. They have a warrant in which I have been able to put you out of this house, and might I add, be the greatest moment of my life. Mr. Whiteside, I'm giving you 15 minutes to pack up and get out. If you're not gone in 15 minutes, I'll have those gentlemen forcefully eject you. 15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. That includes bag, baggage, wheelchair, cockroaches, penguins, and octopus.
Are you sure you don't want my autograph?
15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside.
Say, she can cook. Well, Whiteside, I haven't got any ideas. Any word on the front?
Yes. The enemy is at my rear, and nibbling.
Did you say Maggie was in there?
It's no use, Banjo. She's taking the 1 o'clock train.
No kidding. You didn't tell me that. You mean she's really leaving you after all these years? She's really quitting?
She is.
You have until 1 o'clock to do something.
No, dear. I have exactly 15 minutes. 14 minutes. To pull out of my hat the damnedest rabbit that you've ever seen.
What do you mean 15 minutes?
In exactly 15 minutes, Big's rosy little body will be tossed out into the snow. My host has sworn out a warrant. I'm being kicked out.
What? What would he go and do that for?
Never mind. The point is, I only have 15 minutes. Banjo, my dear, Master's growing a little desperate.
What about laying your cards on the table with Lorraine?
Banjo, you know Blossom Girl as well as I do. What do you think?
You're right.
Banjo, will you go in and talk to Maggie for a second? I need to think.
Well, if I knew where Lorraine Sheldon was, I'd get a car and run her over. Wouldn't hurt her much.
Banjo, please, I need to think.
Maggie, I've got a present for you. This brazier was once worn by.
Hello, Mr. Whiteside. Any get very far? Any suggestions?
I'm very sorry, Richard. Really, I am. I wish I were in a position.
You're not in a position.
Here you go, officer. Thank you so much for your time. Will you please go upstairs, Richard? 10 minutes, Mr. Whiteside.
I brought you some oranges, Mr. Whiteside. Feeling any better?
Superb, John. I don't suppose there's any cyanide in this orange.
No, sir.
Get the door, will you? It's probably some mustard gas from an old friend.
Say, that strange fellow really hit it off with Sarah. He wants to give her a screen test.
Good morning, is Sherry up yet?
Yes, he's right there.
Merry Christmas, darling, Merry Christmas. I've come to have Christmas breakfast with you, may I?
Of course, my dear. John, tell him to make another plate. Better make it 1-minute eggs.
Yes, sir.
Sherry, it's the most perfect Christmas morning. The snow is absolutely glistening. It's a shame you can't get out.
I'll probably see some of it. What's this I hear about you off to Lake Placid with Mr. Jefferson? What time do you leave?
How did you know that? Is Bert here?
He's coming gone already, my dear. My, you work fast, don't you?
Darling, I was simply swept off my feet by that play. It's fantastically good. It's the kind of play that only comes around once in 10 years. Sherry, I'm so grateful to you. Really, sometimes I feel like you're the only friend I have in the world.
Thank you, Lorraine. What time did you say you were leaving again?
Oh, I don't know. I think 4 o'clock. You know, quite apart from anything else, Sherry, Bert is really a very attractive man. It makes it rather a pleasure squaring accounts with little Miss Vitriol. It's all worked out beautifully. Sherry, I want to get you the most beautiful Christmas present you've ever had in your life. Now, what do you want? Anything. God, I'm so deliriously happy. That sounds like Banjo. Is he here?
Yes. Just a little family gathering for Christmas. My, how time flies when you're having fun.
Why, hello, sweetie pants. How do you do?
Very well, thank you. And you, Banjo?
Oh, fine, fine. How's the mattress business, Lorraine?
Very funny, Banjo. You know, it's too bad that your pictures aren't as funny as you seem to think you are.
Ooh, you got me there, Mama. Say, you're looking the pink, Lorraine. You were in the wind, Whiteside?
No, not at all.
What time does this boat sail?
10 minutes.
What boat is this?
The good ship up the creek.
I've never been
there somewhere.
Thank you.
New Year's Eve? Oh, we're not here in Lake Placid. You've been to my cottage up there before, haven't you, Sherry? It's lovely, isn't it? Away from everything, just snow and the cold, clear night. Oh, that's probably Bert now. I told him to meet me here. You know, I'm looking forward to Lake Placid. It's the kind of thing I can do all winter sports with people.
Will he get the time?
Bring it in. Come on now, get in there. What in the world? Don't scrape the wall. There now. Careful.
Mr. Whiteside, it's for you. Perfect. Just what I needed, a mummy.
Merry Christmas from the Khedive of Egypt. What'd you get him? Grants too?
5 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. Including that?
Sherry, what was that all about? Who is that man?
He announces a time every few minutes.
What am I
I've lost my watch.
Good evening, Mr. Whiteside. I see you're busy. Pardon me, I'll wait in here. I've written a new chapter on the left kidney.
Sherry's like a plumber again. Oh, I wonder what time Bert's getting here. Darling, you're not very Christmassy. You're usually bubbling over on Christmas morning. Who sent this to you, Sherry, the Khedive of Egypt? You know, I think it's rather lovely. I must visit Egypt someday. I really must. I know I'd love it. The first time I went to Pompeii, I cried all night. All those people, all those lives. Where are they now? Don't you ever think about that, Sherry? I do. Here was a woman, like myself. A woman who once lived and loved, full of the same passions, fears, jealousies, hates. And what remains of any of it now? Just this and nothing more. A span of 4,000 years. A mere atom in the eternity of time. And here am I, just another woman living out my life. Oh, I want to cry. Oh, I mustn't talk like this. This is Christmas.
Have you ever played St. Joan?
No, I haven't. What makes you ask?
There was something about your expression as you stood in that case. There's a pure halo about you.
Oh, Sherry, how sweet.
It transcended any mortal expression that I've ever seen. Please, step into it again.
Sherry, you're joshing me.
Lorraine, I'm not the type of person to make light of this. There's a strange beauty about it. Pure Da Vinci. Please, do it again.
Well, I don't know what it was that I did exactly, but... Oh, this feels silly.
Lorraine, dear, at that very moment you reached the epitome of your art. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. You asked me a little while ago what I want for Christmas. Well, Lorraine, all I want is the memory of you in that mummy case.
Sherry, I'm all choked up. Dost thou art
Now that's a service for you.
Is she all right there?
Ah, sure, she can breathe plenty. Let her out when we get on the plane. What are we gonna do now? Say, let me get this thing out of here.
One thing at a time, Banjo. That's what's next.
Think fast, Captain, think fast.
Is that your mean, Sherry? Is there anything out here?
No.
Shall I grab these papers? Do you want this picture?
No, just throw everything away. Oh, wait, the picture. I want the picture.
The only thing I haven't done is put on your broadcast order. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, do that, will you? It's very important. Go on and do that.
I'll see you before I go, Angela.
I've got it.
What?
I knew I recognized this face somewhere. Now I know how to get this out of here.
What face? How?
The time is up! Leave! 15 minutes.
Yes, 15 minutes, Mr. Stanley, but before I go, I'd like to ask you a small favor. Would you summon John and ask him to escort this man in this mummy case down to the airport? Would you be good enough to do that for me?
I'll do nothing of that kind.
Oh, I think you will, Mr. Stanley. Or I shall inform my radio audience on my next broadcast that your sister, Miss Harriet Stanley, is none other than the famous Harriet Sedley, who murdered her parents 25 years ago with an axe in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Come, Mr. Stanley. Or would you rather have the good folk of Miss Sally repeating on your very doorstep that once popular little jingle, Harriet Sedley took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and when the job was nicely done, she gave her father 41. Remember, Mr. Stanley, that I'm eating up something too. It would make a hell of a broadcast. Well,
You are the damnedest person I have ever met.
you're a little late in finding that out. Johnny, my boy.
Whiteside?
Yes, Mr.
You're a
White.
great man.
You escort this man in this mummy case down to the airport. He's mailing it to a friend in Nova Scotia.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that right, Mr. Stanley?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Joe. You're wonderful. And I may write a book about you one day.
Don't bother. I can't read. Goodbye, Maggie. Love conquers all. Don't drop that case, John. Contains an antique.
Sherry, was that?
It was indeed. No Christmas present for you.
Sherry, you old reprobate.
Just send me a necktie sometime. My coat, Maggie. I'm off for New York.
Your name, Sherry?
Don't argue with me, Rat Girl. Just do as I say.
Yes, that's the right side.
Mr. Whiteside, I'd like to apologize. Say, don't give it a second thought, Bert. There's been a slight change of plans. Miss Sheldon has gone off on a world cruise. I'm taking your plane to Captain Cornell. Miss Cutler will explain everything.
Bye. Bert.
Thank you.
Right, are you terribly busy?
Yes, busy. Very busy, Doctor. If you're ever in New York, try and find me. Goodbye, Maggie. Love you very much.
You're wonderful, Sherry.
Goodbye, Mr. Jefferson. You'll never know the trouble you've caused.
Goodbye, Mr. Whiteside.
Goodbye, Mr. Stanley. I would like to hear that in the near future. Your daughter has married her man, and your son has been permitted to follow his own bent. Or else. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Maggie, what the devil is going on here? I didn't even know you could walk.
Oh, Bert, don't worry about it. You're too young to know. Just don't ask questions.
Ernest, Richard Dean, very good. Come to the hospital.
Oh, damn it, my head! Oh!
Thank you.